Jonathan adjusted the collar of his coat, ready to leave the warmth of Mark's Christmas party. The air was filled with the laughter of friends and the smell of pine and cinnamon, creating a cozy atmosphere that made him reluctant to leave. But the night had stretched long enough, and he felt a yearning to head home in the comfort of his own bed. As he turned to grab his coat, something in the large mirror hanging in the foyer caught his attention. He paused, staring into the reflective surface. His reflection was smiling broadly, wide, gleeful, yet unnerving. He quickly touched his face, fingers tracing the corners of his mouth, verifying what he already knew. His expression was weary, not smiling. "Hey, Jonathan, are you okay?" Mark's voice broke through the haze of confusion, pulling him back to reality. Jonathan blinked, momentarily disoriented. He looked back at the mirror, and his reflection returned to normal. No smile, just his familiar weary face. "Yeah, just spaced out for a second." "Long day, I guess," he laughed nervously, brushing off the unease that settled in his chest. With a quick goodbye, Jonathan stepped out into the chilly night air, the sounds of the party fading behind him. "Take it easy, man! Get home safe!" Mark called after him. The drive home felt longer than usual, an uncomfortable silence enveloping him as he stole glances at the rearview mirror. Each time he looked, his reflection appeared normal, yet the nagging feeling of unease lingered like a shadow. Once home, Jonathan approached the front door and caught a glimpse of his reflection in the glass. For a brief moment, his image seemed distorted, his features twisting in an unnatural way. He squinted, shaking his head as fatigue washed over him. "Just tired," he muttered, brushing off the unsettling sight as he stepped inside. Later, as Jonathan prepared dinner, the rich aroma of a perfectly seared steak filled the kitchen. He seasoned the thick cut with salt and pepper, relishing the satisfying sizzle as it cooked. He plated the meal, the juicy steak nestled beside vibrant roasted carrots and potatoes, ready to provide a comforting end to the day. Just as he finished, he caught sight of his reflection in the shiny stainless steel refrigerator. The sight of his reflection smiling back startled him, causing him to knock the plate from his hands. The steak thudded to the floor, ruined. With a mix of disgust and fear, he hurled the rest of the meal into the sink, the clatter of dishes echoing in the quiet kitchen. Still fuming over the loss of that perfectly cooked steak, Jonathan glared into his own eyes as he brushed his teeth in the bathroom. "What a waste," he muttered, his reflection staring back at him. But wait, did those now foreign eyes just blink? A chill ran down his spine as he registered the delayed movement, and the unsettling weight of its gaze made him pause. Shaking off the feeling, he rinsed his mouth and turned off the light, hoping sleep would bring some clarity. As he lay in bed that night, the events of the evening replayed in his mind, each one adding fuel to his growing frustration. He clenched his fists, anger bubbling beneath the surface. Enough was enough. He stormed down the hallway to the full-length mirror that loomed silently in the dim light. "What do you want from me?" he demanded, his voice steady but laced with rage. "This has to stop." He leaned closer, feeling the tension in the air, his heart pounding in his chest as he glared at the reflection that seemed to mock him with its unchanging expression. The reflection remained still and unyielding, but just as Jonathan was about to turn away, the reflection's grin widened, a sinister expression that sent a shiver down his spine. In an instant, its hand shot out from the mirror, grabbing him by the wrist with an icy grip. Jonathan gasped, his heart racing as he tried to pull away, but the reflection's grip was impossibly strong. The surface of the mirror rippled like water, and with a sudden violent tug, he was yanked into the mirror, darkness enveloping him completely. The next morning, Jonathan awoke in his bed, sunlight filtering through the curtains. He stretched, shaking off any remnants of sleep. Feeling rested, he dressed casually for the day, slipping on a pair of comfortable jeans and a soft cotton t-shirt. The smell of bacon filled the air as he finished preparing his breakfast. Pouring himself a glass of orange juice, he revelled in the simplicity of it all. It was going to be a good day. Slipping on his shoes, he prepared to leave the house when something caught his eye. Glancing over at the hallway mirror, he paused, his heart quickening as he noticed his reflection. But this wasn't just a normal reflection. On the other side of the glass, the real Jonathan, the one from this world, was trapped, pounding on the glass, screaming a muted scream, panic and horror etched into his face as he pleaded to be set free. A slow, menacing grin spread across the new Jonathan's face. He savoured the look of despair on his double's face. Pulling on a light coat and giving one last mocking glance at the mirror, He turned and opened the door to the world before him. He had won. The old Jonathan was the one who would now remain trapped within the world of reflections, while he, free and powerful, no longer shackled, stepped out into the real world. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving the old Jonathan silently pounding and screaming, trapped forever in the distorted world of mirrors.